Ed of Soltar Solutions, and I am here today with another episode of Focus Forward. I am so excited to have my guest here with me in studio today. She is from Niagara Falls, Canada. Yes, we brought her right down here to be with us today. Her name is Miriam Laundry. She is the future best-selling author of a book titled I Can. Miriam, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us about the book.
Well, it's been an exciting process, and every day is very exciting because every day I get a little bit closer to having it complete. So that will be ready very soon. But I Can is a story about a little girl who believes that she can't do something. And it teaches children to believe in themselves and believe that they can do whatever it is that they want to do.
So tell us a little bit more about the story. So she says that she can't do something, right? And then what happens?
So what happens is she has the setting is a grade 2 classroom. She's in grade 2, and she has been chosen as the star of the day. So the next day she has to bring a show and tell. Well, right away she's hiding, and she keeps saying, I can't speak in front of the class. I can't speak in front of the class. And this is something that's all around her, like just the thoughts. She can't stop thinking about it. She has this fear of speaking. So just to let you know, yes,
that doesn't finish at 2nd grade. I mean, that is the number, I think it's the number 1 fear people have is public speaking. So probably trying to get over that is, you know, maybe if you're able to get over that in 2nd grade.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. So that's a big one.
Yes. So what happens in the story is she comes up with little excuses, right? What a child in grade 2 would be thinking, like a 3-headed monster came and took my show and tell. That's her first excuse. So she comes up with other cute ones like that, why she can't be the star of the day that day. And in the process of this and giving herself some extra time, she notices that her friends are also saying they can't. They believe that they can't. One little girl can't tie her shoelaces. Her other friends can't swing across the monkey bars. So she starts noticing that everybody's saying, I can't. So it's a cute story about how she overcomes that and then how she helps her friends get rid of the I can't. So I'm very excited to share that.
So why do you think children believing they can't do things is an issue?
It is such a big issue. First of all, children hear the word no so many times through their lives. In a day, I don't remember the statistics, but they hear more no's than yeses. You can't do that. Don't touch that. You're going to get burned. Don't do that. And by the time they grow up to be adults, they have that belief that they can't do everything. They lack confidence, which in turn, they're not happy. So it starts at a young age. And I think what we as parents are doing is we're instilling in them our limiting beliefs, our beliefs that we can't do something, so we're telling them, no, you can't, you can't. But how do we know, right?
Exactly, exactly. You know, it's interesting that you say that because when I think about growing up, I grew up in kind of in a different environment. Whatever we were trying to do, our parents would always say, oh yeah, you can do that. Okay. You know, do it bigger, do it better. You know, so it was very interesting that throughout my life, I haven't really experienced all that you can't. But it was very interesting when I used to hire people and train people because I would try to help them to grow and move to, and they'd be like, oh, no, I'm fine where I am. You know? So I think that we kind of we find our comfort zone and then kind of remain there.
Yes.
And that's probably instilled in us from childhood.
Yes. An example that I can give you with myself, with the I can't, and me teaching my beliefs to my kids, a bad example that I'll share with you because I've made some changes since then. A couple of years ago, my second daughter was 6. And she kept asking me, this Sunday, she asked me, can I sell my bracelets outside? She had been doing the beaded bracelets that she wanted to sell. And I was really busy with whatever else, and I said, no, not right now. I heard her go to her dad and ask him, and he was also busy. So we said no. About 10 minutes later, I start wondering, things are quiet, where is she? I go outside, she has set a table just like this, her bracelets are nicely displayed, and she has a sign that says for sale. She went out there, she was doing it. And then here I come, the one that thinks she knows it all, right? And I asked her, how much are you selling your bracelets for? She says, $2. I'm like, honey, sweetie, can you just sell them for 50 cents? I think you're gonna sell a lot more for 50 cents. So what am I doing? I'm instilling my limiting beliefs that maybe whatever I'm selling, I can't be charging more money for.
Mm-hmm.
Elisa, a 6-year-old, taught me so much that day. I let her do what she wanted to do because she's a very determined girl. She ended up making $28 in bracelets. Like, she was 6 years old. But if she would have listened to me, how many bracelets would it have taken, or how many days of her sitting out there to make that $28? And it's not about the money or anything else. What I learned that day is that I need to watch what I'm saying to her. Why am I teaching her that she can't do that? That is not the right price. That's what she wants to charge. Just let her charge that. But she wants to sell that. Let her do it. So that was a big one for me. Things changed from that moment.
And I think with, you know, particularly in that scenario, I think when we talk to our friends, well, how much would you pay for this? And how much, like right now we're talking about expanding your product line from a book to make more of a splash, and also to, you know, get that message out, because it's a very important message. And right away we're thinking, maybe we should sell it for less. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe people aren't going to pay that much for this or whatever. But in reality, I think it's important to build the value in and charge what you really think it's worth. Because that message, as far as I'm concerned, giving children that message is invaluable. You can't put a price tag on that, because that's setting them up for the rest of their life. So in any way that we can instill that message in children, I think parents are going to gravitate to that once they understand the power of it. Yes. And maybe make changes in their own life, like you've decided to make with your children.
For sure, exactly.
So tell us a little bit more about, first of all, we understand that this is an important message, but how are you going to spread this message? You know, where do you see this message going, and how are you going to get it out there?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this because I'm starting an I Can movement. I'm calling it a movement. My plan is to go across North America, Canada, the States, and spread the message, teach children that they can. My goal is to reach 100,000 kids in a matter of a year. So how am I going to do that? First of all, I'm looking for sponsors, companies that believe in this message, that also want to be teaching this to children. In the end, it's going to affect everybody, right? These kids grow up being the people that work for us, or the entrepreneurs, or whatever it may be. It affects everybody. So I'm looking for sponsors of people to back me up with this, and just help me spread it wider. My idea is to go across North America, teaching it to schools, teaching it to children at schools. And I have interactive ways of doing it, fun ways for children to be learning this, not just sitting and reading or somebody telling them that. So there's little exercises that they'll be doing to really engrave that and really believe it and learn it and live it.
So you're going to use not only the reading of the book, but an interactive component?
Yes.
That sounds exciting. Do you want to tell us what it is, or not really?
Well, I don't want to give the end of the story, but just to give you an idea, I'm planning the launch party for the book, and of course, my audience are children. So I'm planning a fun party where kids are coming in, and I'm calling it the I Can Land.
Oh, cool!
And having different stations, kind of like a board game, you may say, of different stations of things that children think they can't do something, like tie their shoelaces maybe at a station. And by the end, they're trying. They're either doing it or even trying is the first step, right? So that they can. And then they're going somewhere and they're getting a prize for that I can. And then they're going to the next station, and it could be whatever it may be, like skipping on one foot, going across the room, just fun activities. So there's different stations, making it a whole I Can game, I Can Land, and having fun things like canned popcorn and canned cakes or whatever it may be, but making it a fun environment. When children are having fun, it's so much easier for them to be learning something. So that's my idea. And same thing when I'm going to schools, having a fun component with it. for children to be open to receiving the message.
So you're actually talking about your book launch party?
Yes.
And the I Can Land?
Yes.
I think that's fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
That's going to be so much fun.
Thank you. I mean, even the adults are going to be having fun,
Even
right?
the adults are going to be having fun. Yeah, because still, even as adults, we say every once in a while, well, I really can't do that.
Not every once in a while. We say it a lot. Do you know, it's one of those things that once you're aware of it, you hear it everywhere. Down to me sending a message to anybody on Facebook, I can't wait to see you, I correct myself. Now I'm saying, I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Because in my house, we see can't as a 4-letter bad word.
Oh, cool.
So you're more aware of it. And you know, you just correct yourself. You catch yourself doing that.
So you're almost eliminating that word from your vocabulary.
I want to do that in my vocabulary and in everybody's vocabulary.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
It's fun.
So what do you think the impact of this movement is going to be?
Wow. Well, these children can you imagine all these children growing up believing in themselves, taking responsibility for their lives, making the right choices, the confidence that they'll have. I think that's a big one. The confidence that comes out of believing that you can do something. You can dream big. You can have your goals and achieve them. I mean, the impact would be huge. It would be really, really huge.
So what do you think the negative impact on a child is if they think they can do something and maybe they can't do it? Do you see any negativity with that?
If they can do something and the truth is that they can't?
They
That's
can't.
what you're saying? I don't know that there's a big negative impact to that. Because even if they really are not able to do something, they have tried. You know, it's the whole process of getting to that point. They've already tried. They're trying. When you try to, okay, here's the thing. If this child in the book is saying, I can't tie my shoelaces, I can't, and just sits there and walks around with the shoelaces not tied, they're never even trying. They don't really know. So it starts right there. It starts in the mind. Try it. Most times you're going to be able to do it. Do you know? So I don't see a negative component to that.
Well, there are many things in life that we can't just try once and give up.
No.
You know, we have to try, we have to change the way we're doing it.
Exactly.
You know, we have to have flexibility. We have to have those things. And I think if children right away, you know, like for instance, if you can't tie your shoes, the parent goes and they buy the ones with the Velcro.
Velcro, right.
Well, that is just not solving the problem. You know what I mean? Because eventually they're going to have to learn to tie something.
No.
You know?
Yeah. I think the key is the person you become in the process.
Tell us about that.
You know, really, it's about that. It's having an obstacle and finding ways to get through it, to get around it, whatever it may be. But trying, it's the person you become in the process. Maybe at the end of it, you could say, I can be the president, you know. But at the end, you don't become the president. Who have you become and what have you discovered about yourself in the long run? Maybe it wasn't being the president that was the big thing. Maybe it was finding happiness doing something else. So I think it's the process that's really, really important. But it starts with choosing to believe that you can.
The other thing is, I think when we look back in our lives, the things that we really are proud of, those things we really remember, not only from childhood, but even from, you know, a few years ago or whatever, are those things that we actually accomplished. And maybe they weren't the easiest things. They were those things that we had to strive for and we had to work at and we had to learn more to do. So I think it's just teaching them a method of being successful, you know? So I think it's a phenomenal movement and I'm really excited about it. And, you know, looking at your galleys for your book, it's going to be great. But okay, so we're instilling this I Can message for an age range. What's the age range? Second grade?
For the book is 6 to 9.
Okay, 6 to 9.
9-year-olds.
What's next after that?
What comes after that? So what I'm writing is a series of books
Okay.
on choices that children have. The first one is choosing what to tell ourselves and what to believe. Other books in the series will be choosing the people that you hang out with, which is so important. I mean, it's important as a child, it's important as an adult. So I'd like to help children make the right choices when it comes to the people that they're around. Another book is choosing to be authentic and true to yourself, to the things that you like. Do you know what I mean? So not changing because my friend doesn't like this color or this bag or whatever it is, but being true and standing in your own. If you really love that, then that's great. You know, you don't need to change that. So being true to yourself.
But there's a lot of security that comes with that. I mean, you need to be able to stand up when people say, oh, you know what, that's not the best outfit, or, you know, maybe you don't want to do that, or maybe you shouldn't charge this for your services.
Right.
I mean, I've heard that so many times. Don't charge that, charge more, and you're like, it's not going to work. So in looking at it, there's a certain level of security that we need to attain within ourselves to be able to still continue. You know, and there are people around us that are telling us, even if we believe we can do it, you really can't do that. You know, you don't, maybe you want to like scale it back, or maybe you want to. So you're saying it's important for children to make the choices about who they hang out with and who they spend their time with. It's important for adults. Why is it so important to do that? Why is that such a vital element to our success, to our future, and to even just us feeling good about ourselves?
Okay, so what happens when we're not being true to ourselves and we're listening to other people's opinions? If we live a life like that, where, okay, I'm gonna like this color because you like it. I'm going to go to this school because my friends are going to. This is what I'm gonna study in university because my friends are going to. Are you gonna be a happy person? No. Right? You're not being true to what you really love. So you lack confidence right there. You lack direction. You lack really knowing what it is that, you know what you like, but it's lacking really going for that. So you become a person that's not really you. You're not going to be a happy person. So a lot of things happen from that. And it starts at a young age. I mean, it happens to us as adults also, right? We're so influenced by other people. We have to learn to find a way to be true to ourselves.
But what do you think, what happens when we surround ourselves with those people that have that can-do attitude? Like, what changes within us?
Oh, well, we learn a lot from the people that we're with, right? So what changes with us is that we're going to want to become those type of people. The happy people, the people that believe in themselves, that are going places. That's a great thing. That's a great thing if you're hanging around those people, right?
So when we met at a Jack Canfield event. I think it was Breakthrough to Success. And Breakthrough to Success was my second event. And my first event was a small event with 18 people at Jack's home. The second event was an event with 350 people, you know, when you count the assistants, maybe more. I still felt the same sense of acceptance and that same sense of love. And when I heard other people's goals and dreams, it opened my eyes. Like, my eyes were like two dinner plates, like, wow, that's such a big dream. And then talking about my dreams and my goals to the people in the room, not only solidified them and fortified them, it also allowed me to take them even further, even further. So, and did you feel that?
Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. It empowers you to be around people that believe in themselves, that are going places. It also makes you feel that my goals are not silly, right? Exactly. I have huge goals. I have big goals, and when I hear other people's, it gives me more encouragement that it's easier to get there, right?
So, for us as adults, we can reason, we understand things, we've been through a lot of experiences in our life, and it gives us that feeling. For children that are already imaginative, that are already dreamers, that don't have some of the maybe stresses to pull them back of paying bills and, you know, taking care of the home and all the work that we do. What could that do for children to be around a group of people like the BTSers, like the Events, like the Jack Canfield group people? What could that do?
I mean, just open up a world of possibilities for them. Just change their lives completely. And then these children, wherever they go, other people will be learning that from them. It's a whole ripple effect. And I just have to tell you, because I just thought about this when you were saying, going to Breakthrough to Success, one of the biggest things that in conversations that would come up was people would say, I wish I would have learned this stuff sooner. Like, for example, my husband started listening to Tony Robbins tapes when he was 18. And when I tell people about this, and he's a very successful man and a very happy man, successful in a lot of areas of his life. And when I say, yeah, he started listening to Tony when he was 18, everybody always says, I wish I would have learned it then or even sooner. So that's kind of where it all comes from for me. I want to teach kids sooner. I would go home and try and teach my kids little bits of what I had learned, because I want them to have an easier life, right? So what that could do if they grow up being those kind of kids is that everybody they meet along the way of their lives are going to be positively influenced by them. And people tend to see that and to want to be like that, and it just becomes easier, right? If you see somebody that's doing something,
oh, absolutely,
it becomes easier.
Absolutely, because it's taken out of your mind, and now you have the actual visual verification, or you know, the model.
Example,
you see it. You see it right there in front of you. So you see it's possible. I mean, I remember a story of, well, you know, the story of the runner.
Yes, yeah, Roger Bannister.
Yeah. So in looking at that.
Right. So he's the story of Roger Bannister. He's the 4-minute mile man that they call. Before he did this, he ran a mile in 4 minutes. Before he had done this, nobody thought that it was possible. He believed that it was possible. He could do it. He visualized. He did all those things. And once that record was broken, I don't know the right statistics, but it was so many people after that were able to break that 4-minute mile. But it took one person to believe that they could do it. And then everybody else says, okay, well, maybe I can do that too. And they did. So it becomes much easier.
So he took a commonly held belief that it was impossible to run, physically impossible, to run a 4-minute mile, and proved that wrong. And then behind him, there were a string of people that could do it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's amazing.
It starts up here.
It
all starts there.
So I'm really looking forward to the book, to the movement, whatever other things that you have. Now, tell us just briefly about the series. Just briefly.
The book series. It's called Little Choices, Big Difference. And it's about little choices that you make every day that will have a big impact in your life. So I already mentioned a couple of them. Choosing the people you hang out with, choosing to be true to yourself. Another one is choosing to let go of fear. I could talk forever about that. Other books in the series are choosing happiness. Happiness is a choice. So that's an important one to teach children. Look at the situation, and really, you can always make the best of it.
So give us one tip that parents can use to encourage children or to help children to believe that they can.
One tip. The biggest one is to watch the way you talk to your own children.
Okay.
And when a child says, Mommy, can I go outside and sell my bracelets? Sure you can. And be a part of that. Go sit down with them and do that. And watch yourself for what it is that's going to come out. Watch that you're not giving them your beliefs. Let them be who they're meant to be.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, I think if parents really followed even just that one piece of advice, which is really valuable, they would really see a difference in their children. Children would do better, they would try harder, and they would also have more belief in themselves. And that's where it all stems from. We have to believe that we can do things. I mean, everything I do is really stems from the fact that I figure I'll give it a try. You know, but if I didn't try things, you know, if we didn't try things, where would we be?
Exactly.
So, and this show primarily is for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are really, generally speaking, can-do people. And the other part of that is often the people around them are telling them they can't do it. So really just internalizing this message, having the confidence to move forward and do that. I mean, that's what it's all about, because those are the people that really shape our society. Those are the people that go down in history, and those are the leaders that we follow. So that's wonderful. So Miriam, we are finished with our time today. Thank you so much.
Lori, thank you. Thanks.
Welcome.
This is awesome.
You're welcome. We look forward to seeing your I Can book and the series.
Thank you.
Thanks. So that's it today for Focus Forward, and I hope you've enjoyed this show. Stay tuned. We have a lot more interesting information and valuable tips for entrepreneurs. Thank you.